Hey everybody, Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell here, coming to you with another Okla Proud interview. Thanks for those that have been watching, and please continue to practice that social distancing. Wash your hands, sing Happy Birthday when you're washing your hands. I'll never forget that. But we are doing a good job of flattening that curve, but we cannot let up now. But while you were home, certainly what this interview series is trying to do is just bring you some great Oklahomans that are doing awesome work that first off give you a little bit more pride in the state, kind of showing that Oklahoma standard, but also hopefully some good relevant information. And certainly today I have one of those people with me, Traci Newell with Elgin Public Schools. I'm a dad with 4 kids in the public school system. I am well aware of what moms and dads and grandparents and educators are going through right now, trying to figure out how to do distance learning. But I think it's also, really important to note, when businesses go back to work, and hopefully we can do that soon in phases and do it in a real responsible way. But kids aren't going back to school. The school year for public schools have really shut down. And so what do we do between now and then into summer? So with that, Traci, introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us how long you've been teaching. And then, we can kind of have a conversation here of just some tools that parents can tap into, some ideas maybe for teachers as well, and really just what you as a teacher have been going through during this time. So with that, Traci Newell.
Okay. First of all, thank you for having me. This is actually my 26th year in education.
Wow, 26 years.
Yes. Can you believe it?
Awesome.
So I was actually a classroom teacher for 15 of those years. I taught pre-K, kindergarten mostly, and I also did some 3rd grade. For the last 11 years, I've been an administrator. So currently I'm the principal at Elgin Lower Elementary, and we service grades pre-K through 1st grade.
Okay, excellent. And so 26 years doing this. So the news comes down, we were in this pandemic, literally just kind of, we were taking it at an hour at a time. And then all of a sudden we knew this was serious. Schools got shut down. What were some of the first things that you did to kind of prepare for this?
So I think after taking a deep breath, some of the first things we did were reach out to our parents and to our staff. We met as an administrative team, and we wanted to reassure people, first of all, that no matter what, we were going to be here for them, and we are a team, and we will work through it together. So we, as I said, we reached out to our teachers first to ease their mind a little bit, but then we reached out to our Elgin community and just said, we just want you to know we are always going to do what's best for your kids, and that's not going to change, even though it may look differently how we provide that service. And just to really, we thought it was really important to keep them in the loop. So every step of the way, as we were figuring things out, we involved them. We, like everyone else in Oklahoma, were on spring break when that decision was made. So we had a little bit of time before we moved into distance learning. But I think that for us was key, was immediately getting communication out there to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it did hit at, it's never a good time for a worldwide pandemic, but because of spring break, it did give schools a little bit of time to prepare for this. So, and I know that you're doing, let's start first off, I know you are doing certainly some online learning, but you chose to mail packets, physically mail packets to every family. Why did you make that decision? Was that something that, again, was that a policy that you put in place? Just worked better maybe for kindergarten and 1st graders? But not every school district is doing that. Maybe some of it is resource based, but how has that been working for you?
I think, well, first of all, it worked really well. I shared a minute ago that we mailed out approximately 428 packets and only had 7 returned. So first of all, we found that to be very successful, but we have since gotten those packets into our students' hands as well. So Really, it was just kind of a decision that my superintendent and I made along with our other administrators. I felt like, so it was really probably a two-pronged decision. First of all, I wanted to do that to ensure whether you had online access or not, you had access to academics. So that was the first thing. The second thing was, yes, specifically for our grade level, which is the pre-K through first grade, we felt like they needed something concrete in their hands. And when it came to the core academic part, that's how we were going to meet that need. And we provided them with 5 weeks worth of materials in that. The other thing we did in that packet, the teachers and I both wrote a cover letter so that they heard from myself and then from the classroom teacher, but we also included a page front and back of online resources. I mean, that was another key that we wanted to immediately get some online resources into their hands as well.
And throw out a few of those online resources. I know that certainly Joy Hoffmeister in the Department of Education had a very long list, nice partnership there between OETA as well. But were there some online resources, you know, private sector, or what did those kind of online resources look like for you all?
So a lot of it, I want to say thank you to a lot of the companies that usually work with education, because things that usually are only available to teachers or at a subscription rate, they very quickly made available to families. Things like AR reading, students can go online and continue to take those online reading tests. They can, Study Island is another very big part of Oklahoma education, and they opened it up for students. And I've heard a lot of families have taken use of that.
What was that one again?
That was Study Island.
Study Island, okay.
Study Island, and it's, I believe it's a K through 12. So it's been good for a lot of age groups across the board. And it was one that immediately, even during those 2 weeks when we weren't providing access, when we were just on that administrative shutdown, it was something that they could immediately latch onto to keep them going and keep them fresh if they chose to. There was one, Happy Numbers is another one that decided to make that available to parents. Brain Pop is another one. Pebble Go is an online resource where the students can go and look things up and use it to write resource papers or reference papers, anything like that. They opened it up. So really across the board, most of your educational online resources opened up for parents.
That's great. Yeah, I know we're using a number of those, certainly, again, with our 4 kiddos. But I just, anytime that I have a teacher, I certainly, those are some of the questions that, hey, what are those great online resources? And yeah, and you're exactly right. Thanking them for offering those services for free is huge. What are, again, maybe I know we talked briefly about, you know, doing a Zoom meeting with elementary kids. Everybody should have to experience that, because I'm sure it is just hilarious. I have one in pre-K, and so I only imagine. Most of mine are past kindergarten. But you know, talk a little bit about what you have been doing kind of online.
Okay, so for us, really, we decided that our online stuff would try to be focused more on those connections. I have really found that the parents are a little bit less concerned right now about the academics. They're finding things to do for their kids. And they were more concerned, especially at our grade level. How do I explain this to my kids? How do I help them with the separation from their friends, with the separation from their teachers? That's been very emotional. So we have really used the online presence to help with that. All of my teachers have a Facebook page. My pre-K has an actual pre-K page so that they all can contribute to that. Every day they're putting up resources on that for our families. Every day they're doing read alouds and letting their kids get to participate in something that they're missing out on, which is that reading time with their teachers. I'm doing that online on our regular elementary page. I've been doing read alouds. we've been linking to all the stars that have stepped up and are doing the read alouds. Dolly Parton is one that I linked the other day. Stephen Fight, a lot of the people in our state, Stephen Fight is a musician in our state that does stuff for elementary schools. And Stephen has, yeah, he's been awesome. You just go to his page on Facebook and he's doing activities nightly live with kids. And so the Zoom meetings, they're really trying to make those interactive. It is funny, if you've never jumped on a Zoom meeting with a younger child, it's the best part of my day. I did 9 of those yesterday, and someone was like, oh my gosh. And I said, you know what though? It's the best part of my day. They are so excited to see each other. So the first probably 5 or 10 minutes is a little rough. They're all talking over each other. And then they will mute everybody so that they can have something to say. They've done stuff as easy as scavenger hunts. Go find the letter, something that starts with the letter B, go find the color green. So they're really still trying to engage them in those kinds of things.
I like
one
that.
of my first grade teachers yesterday on one of hers had them hide something in a plastic egg. They had to write 3 clues. And so then they read their clues and their classmates had to try to figure out what was hidden in their egg. So lots of that kind of stuff, just trying to help ease that loss of that connection is what we're doing online.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I interviewed a child psychologist a few weeks ago, Dr. Swallows, and she mentioned this, yes, the continued education is critical, but that connection that these kids are losing, and how much do you talk to them about what's going on, but making sure that there's still connections with their schoolmates is very important from a mental health perspective too. It's so great to hear that again, how important teachers realize how important that is. And I'm sure you've seen that through these interactions that you've seen with your kids.
Oh, for sure. Like I said, that's the kind of stuff they're asking us about. They're not asking about academics. They're asking about, when this is all over, do you think we can do something so that they can say goodbye? We did a teacher parade around the community, and we picked a bad day and we had to postpone it, and that they very much were like, oh, we understand, but they're so disappointed. Please say you're still going to do it. And we did. And I'm going to tell you, I had parents as we drove by that were crying because it was so meaningful to them that to know that these teachers care enough about their kids that they haven't forgotten them, that they're still very much every single day wanting to engage their students. We've done virtual spirit weeks, and where they, for example, on Wednesday, you were supposed to read to your pet. And so they took pictures of themselves reading to their pets and they posted on our page. And so anything that we as educators can do to keep that connection, it's vital. It really is. It's critical, because I agree there is a lot of stuff they can find at their fingertips to continue the academics, but that connection with their classmates and their teacher is what they're craving.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts for again, parents, teachers? Again, you've been doing this a very long time and have offered up some really great nuggets of valuable information. But I think some of the things you've talked about will continue throughout the summer as well. But any other things that I have not asked that you might want to mention, or any final thoughts?
I think really my main thing is I just want to say how impressed I've been. I think, I'm sure it's all over the state. I'm in lots of different principal groups. I'm in lots of different Oklahoma groups. And that's the main thing I see, is that teachers and parents are complimenting each other. No one expected this. No one wanted this. It's hard on everyone. And I think that everybody has realized that. The main thing I think is just definitely to remember that your teachers want to be there for your kids. If something's not happening right and not successful, then reach out to those teachers, because they want to know, they want to be there. They are feeling a sense of loss just like our kids. You know, I have a first-year teacher, a first-year pre-K teacher, and this has hit her really hard. I mean, it's hit her hard, and it's because, especially I think for our first-year teachers, they did not get that closure of ending that first year in a manner that they would want. And you know, some of the things I've said to her and that I've said to my other teachers is just, you know, maybe this is a time that we just need to look at as a blessing. We got to slow down, and you know, again, that the academics will come. Now is a time for parents to use it to do life lessons. I had a parent that posted online how they were teaching cooking right now and using that and integrating it with math. How we have a, I forgot to mention this, we have one of our senior kiddos who are also feeling a big loss, those seniors, and he's been doing Hunter's how-tos on our Facebook page.
Oh, that's great.
And so he did thumb wrestling the other day. He talked one day about giving back. They went around the community and hid eggs, and the kids could find the eggs and post them on that page. So I think too, engaging your seniors when you have the opportunity. And he reached out to me. That wasn't even something that I suggested, but they just finding those ways with nothing else but to make those connections, because the other comes naturally. Parents are doing a great job. Those kids are going to come back next year and they're going to be fine. The other thing is to remember they completed 3/4 of their academic year. For your testing grades, the main thing they were moving into was that testing time. And so I think that we're going to find out that the teachers, the parents, and the students in Oklahoma are very resilient. And, you know, this could be a blessing with the things that they will have had the opportunity to learn in this manner that they might not have had.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it. I mean, I think it is a blessing. Certainly my wife and I are reminding ourselves of that too, that, you know, we've got extra time with our kiddos. Still certainly a time to be learning, and this valuable information here is part of that. But yeah, moms and dads and these teachers, again, they're stepping up. And that's what we do in this state. We are not certainly new to crises in the state of Oklahoma. Certainly this is an unprecedented pandemic for sure, but this, you know, listen, this is what we do. We still put our boots on and we go next door and help our neighbor. And we will continue to do that through this. So Traci, I can't thank you enough for what you do every day. You guys are true heroes. I mean that. But thank you so much for being with us today, and I look forward to talking to you more in the future, as well as other teachers that are just on the front lines. Our healthcare workers are, but there is no doubt that our teachers and administrators are as well.
Well, I appreciate that, and we are. I see the hashtag Oklahoma Strong all the time, and
that's right.
That's never more applicable than it is right now. We are, have been, and always will be Oklahoma Strong.
That's right. Traci, thank you so much.
Thank you.